Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks be to God for another great day. Today, we are going to look at a few things. We are going to look, it's very important, this one, the reading labels. Reading the labels before we buy the food, because everything is labeled, and why labels are so important. But then the whole thing boils down to, why are we making sure that as we read the labels and know what we are eating, what that is doing to us? How does that really culture the mind for us to make the choices? And here we can see the circulatory system, very unique, very knitted, the blood with the oxygen and the blood that is going to the lungs to pick up the oxygen. And that food that we are eating is just like a prayer. When we prepare our meals, the way we lay it out on the plate, the way the types of the colors and how we have made those special choices is to make sure that all that juices from that food that we have eaten, that is sucked in by, as we went through the small bowels and the villi, that juicy water has to go through the whole system. That nourishes the nerves, the body, all the muscles, and supply the veins and the arteries with blood from our head to our toe. So when we make those decisions, it's not making it to only our taste, but we are feeding the physical body to help us to concentrate on the social, the mental, the psychological, and most of all, the spiritual. So it's important when we cook that food, the attitude we have when we cooking it, it will be all love and really appreciation that God gives us that opportunity to make sure that we are looking after this body to the best of our ability. But let's look at really the ingredients here. When we look at the label, we see here on this particular label, I don't know if you can see it, the first thing you see there is sugar. So that holds the heaviest position in our label. So if you see it start with sugar, you know fully well the greatest ingredients or the highest ingredients in that product is sugar. And then if we look, we can see other things there. The next one, we can see bleached flour, wheat flour. We can see all those things there if you see them. And most of them is chocolate. Most of it is sugar. Most of it, we have here a little bit of vanilla. And the last thing we have at the bottom, that is the least weight of the product that you are buying. And the last one, it said sodium bicarbonate. So if you look at that, you will see, try and think of it, what it is when I am going to some other things. What is that product that I'm going to buy? I haven't seen the product. All it is in a box. Say the box hasn't got any to say what it is, but we could pick up there what that is. And I want you to hold that in mind so we can see what product, even though we are not seeing it. So we practice that way to look firstly at the first reading. So let's see. All ingredients has to be labeled in order of the base of the weight of what is there first. So the first thing will be mostly in that package. For example, what is the first ingredients? And we can see there is sugar. And the least ingredients is sodium bicarbonate. Few ingredients show the food and drinks has a less processed, so the less ingredient you see, that means that that product has little processed food in it. It's likely to be less processed. Many real natural foods don't even have an ingredients list. So you can see just one thing and you know that that food in that container will be a natural food. A good rule is to try and choose food with fewer than 5 ingredients. So therefore you will be having less processed things, as well as the length of the list. If the list is very, very long, you know fully well that that is processed food and is not a natural product. The type of things and the type of things in the ingredients, if all the ingredients you cannot read the labels or you cannot read what's in it, then you know fully well that that food is not very good to buy. This is a sign, yes, but if there are lots of things you don't really understand, you can't read it, you don't know the name of it, those are ultra processed foods. Look out for the ingredients that can be listed under different names. For example, added sugar may be listed as sugar, saccharose, syrup glucose, syrup, maltose, and it all means the same sugar. And also it can give a presentation like that there is less added sugar in the product. So look out for that. All these beautiful ways of saying sugar, instead of saying, yes, this has got 100% sugar in it, they put it under different names because some people don't know sugar is called saccharose and sugar is called maltose as well. So look out for especially that. For it says here that we can also check the ingredients for ourselves. We can look through and see, do I understand this ingredients? If you could understand it and you can read it, then you can sort of buy it and look at it. So as you had a look at that, we can see that that may be a sort of chocolate biscuit. So you know when you open that package, you will see lots of chocolate, and again, it's got bleach flour in there. So you can read your labels for every ingredient. So always look at your label. Take a magnifying glass if you are just learning. All right, let's look at something here. What does 15 grams of carbohydrates look like? We know that we can't see that in anything that we eat, but we can see here, I'm giving you a little example here. So we can see here, mash, that's mashed potatoes, 100 grams, and that is 100 grams we are going here, that is a portion, and that is 6 to 7 chips. 6 to 7 chips will give you 100 grams of carbohydrates. Chips, the ordinary chips, 40 to 50 grams will give you at least 2 tablespoons. That is equal to 15 grams of carbs. Rice that is cooked, about 2 tablespoons, and that is equal to 15 grams of carbohydrates. So you'll have an idea. We have pulses here that is 2 to 3 tablespoons, which is about 85 to 90 grams. That is 15 grams of carbohydrates. Baked beans, 2 to 3 tablespoons, which is about 120 grams. That is 15 grams of carbohydrates. One banana, about 100 grams, a small banana is 15 grams of carbohydrates. We said carbohydrates will push up the glucose level rapidly and very quickly. So these are the types of foods here that's only a portion here. That's only a little bit because of time. I just, put this little here. Then the grapes, about 15 grapes or a slice, 3 slices of mango, that is 15 grams of carbohydrates. An apple or a pear, medium size, is 15 grams. An orange, 1 large orange or 1 small grapefruit, 230 grams, that's 15 grams of carbohydrates. Some dry fruits, listen to this, 1 tablespoonful or small handful is 15 grams. Then we look at the fruit juices, 1 small glass, a small glass, 125 ml, 50 mils is 15 grams of carbohydrates. And dried product like milk, 300 mils, a small glass again is 15 grams of carbohydrates. A low-fat yogurt, about 125 grams, and that is equal to 15 grams of carbohydrates. So that will give us a little idea. So having a big mango and eating it with both sides, we know that we are having like maybe about 60 or 70 grams of carbohydrates. And then we are not moving. We are not doing anything with that amount of carbs that we are having. I'm not saying take just 2 or 3 tablespoons of rice or something like that. But, because people who work very hard, like the men, and they, in lifting heavy things, obviously you wouldn't eat just 1 portion on your plate of rice. So you calculate it in your head, I'm eating this, so therefore I will be burning out. So half an hour walk, you will at least burn out maybe about 500 calories out of that. So we need to really look and check and see the amount we are eating, because God gave us the food to eat for energy. So if we are not burning that energy into something, it's like putting gas in a car, putting it in the garage, and going back again at 12 o'clock and putting more gas from the gas station in the car, putting it back in the garage, then going back in the evening time or during the snacks and putting gas in the car all the time and not driving that car, eventually that car will stop working. So that's the body. If we don't burn the energy as gas, then that body gathers it up and make it into fat. And therefore, the fat has nowhere to go but to filter back into the body, into our muscles, and especially into the blood vessel that I showed you. 60,000 miles of blood vessels. So we need to look at those foods. Let's look at this, carbs awareness for every day. So I want you to, if you have your pen, just write down an apple. You could write down the asparagus, write those things that you see down. Some people mightn't be able to see it. Avocado, baked beans, the banana, the basmati rice, the strawberries, the nuts, the Brazil nuts, the broccoli. Just write those down. It's just giving you an idea of how much carbs or in these foods. You could just write them down. I'll give you the answer now. You could say whether they're high or low or medium, the carbohydrates, when we eat these foods. Right, there's the answer. So we can see here that the apple is medium. We can see that is medium because we can see the color there. So medium, that is about 5 to 9 carbs, 5 to 9. So we can see here that is medium. Okay, so we can see that is medium. The amount of glucose in that food is medium. We can see the asparagus is a small amount. So that is, it's all right to have a decent portion of that. The avocado is small amount. The baked beans is large amount. The banana is a large amount of glucose in that. The basmati rice is large amount. The berries is large amount. So we're not going to eat a bowl full of these things that is large amount. Or that is medium. The Brazil nuts is small amount. The broccoli is small amount. So you know you're getting more fibers in those foods with a small amount. Then we have the margarine. Is none in that because you don't get carbohydrates in fats. Then we have here the carrots. We see that is medium. So it gives you an idea of the different foods supplying you with different types of glucose and energy. And so we know if we are sitting in the office, we're not going to have lots of baked beans and bread and jam and all those sort of foods and lots of bananas. And we eat a lot, 6 or 7 bananas in a smoothie because our glucose level is going to go really, really high. So we need to look at those things. So to take a picture of those so we can have a look. And then we see here that we are only having 5 to 9 portions of our vegetables. I'm not going to anything like the fats or the carbs or anything else. I'm just sticking to the 5 to 9 portions of fruits or veg every day. And the reason we are having this 5 to 9 portions, 5 a day has gone since 20 years ago. It's 5 to 9 portions of fruits or veg now. So how would we divide that? 3 pieces of fruits. If it's something like a pineapple, it's 2 thin slices. If it's something like a big mango, we're not to sit down if we see our girth measurement is getting bigger. We're not to sit down and eat a whole big mango. We all love it, but you need to cut 1 slice off because we can see the glucose level will be very high when we finish eat that full mango. That means for that, only that mango, not the bread, not the rice, or not the not the biscuit we have or anything, that only that mango for the day will put your glucose up really high if you did not go for a walk, not the same time after you have eaten. You're going to just go around a little bit after you have eaten, not to take an exercise, but you need to do at least 30 minutes, either moving the body, putting on some music, whatever you want to do, stretching, especially for the heart muscles. So a piece of elastic, a big wide, maybe 6-inch elastic, they are selling them now in the exercising shop. So you can stretch it across, and somebody who cannot walk, you could put on some music and help them as well and let them stretch off so their heart muscles will be getting stronger. When you run, your muscles in your body is moving, and also your immune system, your lymphatic system. There is no pump to do the lymph milk around your body. But next week, I'm going to do that, might be my last one. And then next week, I'm going to do the lymphatic system, which is important. Movement, because there is no pump in the lymphatic system. And therefore, we find that it's about 100,000 miles long. So we need to move so the lymph milk that fights our infection can move all around the body. When we move, we need to move so the juices from our feet in the circulatory system from your stomach will go all around your body. If you sit, then all that energy will turn into fat. We cannot afford that to happen because fat and increases like make the body get a little bit acid, right? And when the body gets acid, it's not lemon acid. It gets acid with like the heat in the body causes inflammation. Inflammation causes infection. Infection causes diseases when we just sit down. And not only that, it makes the body stressed. It makes you stressed out when you're just sitting down because you can't think properly, you can't move properly, and then there it could be a problem. So those who are a little bit older, we need to help them out here. A little massage for their feet now and again, a little massage for their arms, a little massage for their backs to help them to move, give them some music, put the 2 tins of little beans in their hands or whatever we want to do and lift it up and play some music with them so these older folks can get out of their little wheelchair and stand up a little, sit down a little, stand up a little, even though they can't walk. So we need to look out for others and not ourselves alone. So we're going to have 3 pieces of fruits or 3 fruits a day. Just put up your hand with 9 fingers and you'll get the point. And then we need to have a bowl of salad if we can manage that. The older people might not manage that, but we can make a little, mash it up a little bit better for them, or make some sort of a simple things for them. And then we can have, all right, so that is it. A bowl of salad is equal to 2 portions. 3 pieces of fruits or 3 fruits is equal to 3 portions, and that's 1 hand is gone. On the other hand, we have 4 fingers up. So 3 tablespoons maybe of carrots, 3 tablespoons maybe of broccoli. You choose what you want, what you like. 3 tablespoons maybe of green beans, 3 tablespoons maybe of some other vegetable. That should give us 9 portions of fruits or veg every day. That should clean your 35 feet of bowels, your villi, that's the things like the toothbrush in there. We can't go down there with a toothbrush, but we need that cleaning every day. You eat, the food stay in the stomach around 4 to 6 hours, according to the type of food, comes down in the small bowels, sucks out the juices out of the food, and then we need to go to the toilet. That's 1 dustbin we will have in the bedroom, and we have not been to the toilet. We eat again, we eat snacks. It comes down the same way, and that's 2 sets of dustbins in us. Then we eat again evening meals. That's 3 sets of dustbins inside the bedroom. What sort of smell would there be, and how would that bedroom be? That's inside our body, all those dustbins. We need to eat the fibers, to scrape and drink sufficient water. So all that is finished, digested, and all the juices are out, needs to come out for another meal, and the villi will have some clean thing to suck in to take to the liver. If we didn't do that, the liver sucks in all that fat. He becomes fatty liver and therefore cannot do what he has to do with our vitamins, our red dead blood cells, send it to the gallbladder and look after us when we have any sort of infections. He's got to deal with that as well. He's got to spike our protein, so we need really to make sure that we are eating what? A healthy, balanced diet.
We have 2 minutes, sister.
Yes, if we only have just the rice on the plate, it would not work. We need to put the different colors on the plate instead of putting every day the same colors. It's like saying to someone, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. They will get fed up. The body needs a change. So may God help us that we continue to look after this body as stewards and as managers, to make sure that when they give us our health tomorrow, it will be in a lovely box and we wouldn't get a surprise when we open that box. Bless us all. And thank you so much for listening. And I hope I myself have learned something from these presentations.